Hi Aries, welcome to your December 2019 General Tarot reading. It's Raina here. So December, I think, must be fun for a lot of Aries people because the sun is in Sag for most of the month, and that is a friendly angle to you. It's a trine, it's a fellow fire sign. And then you have the sun in Capricorn, and that's the 10th house of career. So that can be good for career success. And actually, there's going to be a solar eclipse in this 10th house that's going to make a friendly angle to Uranus, which could be something unexpected, but unexpected good luck because Jupiter is also in Capricorn, and that it's going to form a conjunction with Jupiter. So that could be very auspicious for career matters. I haven't done the astrology forecast yet. I will be doing that shortly, but just want to give you a little heads up on that. I've been getting this card over and over again, and that makes a lot of sense when I just said about career matters. There you go. There's the Jupiter. Oh boy, this is really something. I'm going to pick this one, I think. There you go, career success. And then let's go pick this one as the outcome. Well, let's pick an additional card. Okay. Yeah, this has a strong work element or career element to it, so I'll probably read it as a career reading more than a love thing. Well, it depends. I like to cover all the bases if I can. So the heart of the matter, and I've been getting this card over and over again, is the Ten of Wands. It could be that a lot of people in the collective are working longer hours at their jobs. Maybe it has to do with it being the holiday season, and there's a lot more demands for the services that you do in one way or the other, which would be good because it means more money too, right? Hopefully. Hopefully it's not more work and the same amount of money. But in any case, this can be, I say this, I attribute this because I didn't come up with it. Anthony Lewis, in his book Tarot Plain and Simple, calls it the burdens of success. So it's a burden because it's, the 10 is the top of the numerical system in the tarot. So it's like the apex, or you could say even the conclusion. And with wands, it has to do with career matters. But anything where you feel a sense of responsibility or that you're trying to, accomplish something. So it just might be, it could be something very temporary. Now, if this is a relationship issue, you may be taking the responsibility that is not yours for the other person and for the relationship, and you have to look at that. You have to look at your piece in this, how you are perhaps assuming responsibility for somebody that they have kind of convinced you are. It's all about you. It's all your fault. It's all, whatever. If you're dealing with a covert narcissist, that is going to play with your head. These are the types of people who want to be the center of attention, not talking about, like a Leo wanting to shine, wanting, that constant emphasis put on them, and they're not doing the same. So they're kind of sucking at other people's energy field because they have this bottomless pit of need, and they tend to be very manipulative about this. And the biggest thing is they're helpless, they're the victim, they've always been the victim, and they might have been a literal victim of child abuse, but what happened was some people, when they're abused as children, they identify with the abuser. For some reason, they think that the abuser is in the right. They think the abuser has the power, so they become abusers. Some people become the perennial victim, where they identify as the victim, and that becomes their identity in life. I am the victim. And so as they say that they're the victim, they're always attracting situations where they can be taken care of, or they will demand that in one way, shape, or form. And they're doing this because they're looking for love, but they're getting it in a very distorted way. And it's not good for anybody in those situations because they're very dependent and the other person feels guilted into it. They're not doing it necessarily because they really want it. You know, it's just it's a mess. And I'm including this because Aries is a very generous sign. And it's not that, you know, the pure Aries type is not necessarily all that sensitive. Sometimes you might even be quite insensitive. But it's possible that you have a moon in a water sign, especially like Pisces or Cancer. And so you might even, this person may be a Cancer. I'll explain that in a second, but this person may be a Cancer, but you may have a moon in Pisces or Cancer especially. I think Scorpio wouldn't play that. And then your adjacent Aries to Pisces, so you may have some inner planets like Mercury, Venus, or Mars, or Mars in Pisces, and be more of a sucker for the person with problems that you want to help. Not to say you shouldn't help a spouse who has problems. I had somebody read me the Riot Act about that. I'm talking about seeking out people like this. And, you know, because you have this, you know, irrational guilt that you should do this, or there's some reason. Now, in the past position, we have the Queen of Cups. This can actually be a Cancer person talking about this person. But again, this could be you trying to be compassionate and doing so in a dysfunctional way by thinking that in order to be compassionate, you have to do everything for somebody else. The higher message is the Wheel of Fortune, and this is a card of aligning with your success. This is Jupiter. This card represents Jupiter, and like I said, you have, or I hope I said that, this is a great time for you because you are going to have Jupiter entering that 10th house of career December 2nd. So the Queen of Cups, for anybody who is, you know, this is not like a personal relationship issue. Like if the 10 of Wands you identify more as your career situation, then the Queen of Cups can be, because this is a very intuitive energy, that you may, you know, let's say you're a woman who wants to stay at home with your child. You may be like saving money right now, advancing in your career right now, so that you can do it at home, so that you can raise your children for the first few years, but you don't have to be in the office. So it's almost like paying your dues so that you'll have a firm footing and that you can take off. Maybe it's just maternity leave, whatever, but you want to secure your place in the pecking order, if you will. And the Wheel of Fortune means that you're aligned to do this, that it's that the stars are cooperating with you, the universe is cooperating with you. What crosses you is the Knight of Cups. This can be, for instance, if this is a relationship situation, you may, this may be the other party, and they may be very charming, okay, Prince Charming, but they have a dark side. So when I was talking about manipulation, this person is the master of manipulation. It's very easy for them to get inside your head. And they know what buttons to push. They know that you're generous. They know that you don't pay attention to details, and that maybe they can lie to you. Why was I thinking about Pisces when I said that? And they, it's funny too, because in the upright position, I always see the Knight of Cups as this poetic individual, this singer-songwriter. I call it the James Taylor card. And you, Queen of Cups, if that's you, you may be artistic too, and you may meet this person in like an open mic night, something like that. But the thing is that this person may have a drinking problem, first and foremost. And that might be why you have gotten into this caretaking role, where you're taking, maybe they're not even working and you're paying their bills. Whatever it is, you may think that you're doing it because you care. And actually, you're keeping them down. And that is always very difficult to wrap your brain around, because it doesn't seem like it fits. But you have to understand, especially if your Venus is in Pisces, this is right up your alley to fall for the people that have the problems. I call it the wounded bird syndrome, wanting to, almost like gravitating to those particular individuals because you can see that they're hurting and you can't bear to see them hurt. That particular insight was for people with a strong Pisces, I think, or Cancer. Most Aries, as a sign itself, gets accused of being insensitive, not too sensitive. So it would have to be specific to certain Aries types, I guess. But whoever this person is, they may charm you. They may kind of spark that part of yourself that loves poetry, that loves artistic self-expression. But they're also irresponsible, immature, emotionally immature. And they may have some kind of addictive tendencies that are really, creating problems for them. But guess what? They're creating problems for you because you're with them. And you have to decide whether or not you're going to carry their weight. What's coming in is the Six of Wands. Regardless of, your love life or anything, your career is on point. Your success is on point. That part of your life is going well. And so highlight your success. Bask in your success, I think, is the Six of Wands. This can be a card associated with Leo. So in personal relationships, Leo, definitely more compatible with an Aries than a Cancer if you're dealing with a Cancer, or even a Pisces, But you're deserving of taking your bow, Aries. Don't try to play. I was going to say, don't be too modest, but I don't think that's ever in the realm of reality when it comes to Aries people. You tend to be very confident and a go-getter, but you may still have this sense of like, I'm not doing enough. I can't, and it's ridiculous. You're going to have, with this solar eclipse, you're probably going to have so many opportunities coming to you in 2020 that's not even funny. The outcome is the Seven of Wands. I did pick an additional card. Some of these cards as outcome cards, they just don't feel like they really go along with things. This is a card of standing your ground. So if somebody's trying to manipulate you, do not fall for the okie doke. Don't let them. I just saw somebody on Instagram. They said, don't explain and don't defend, don't complain and don't defend. And I remember the late Wayne Dyer used to say, don't defend yourself. And, I think that generally that can be true, but I think there are times when we're really trying to explain to another person, not because we're insecure, but because we want them to really understand that it's not that we don't love them, that we're doing X, Y, or Z. And sometimes people cannot understand. They're like, why do you have to do this? Why can't you do that? And they're really like heartbroken that you're not doing a certain thing, and you have to let them know it isn't because you're a bad person that I am going to be taking some time for myself. It's because you need to get yourself together, and I'm just getting in the way of that. It's just my natural inclination to want to help you, and it's not helping you. You know, when you explain things, and but you're not allowing them to manipulate you anymore. In the workplace, you may need to say, enough is enough. I can't work 12 hours a day. And be secure enough to know that you can, come to work tomorrow morning, that you're not going to get fired. Unless it's like something that's very, time sensitive, and it's, if it's holiday related and things will calm down after the holidays, it's a different story. But if it's something that is ongoing, especially, that could be it too. Perhaps you're working the job of two people because you have a coworker who's having maternity leave or something like that, and you're willing to be a trooper, but it's starting to get to you. You're fearing burnout. If you burn out, Aries, and you do tend to have a very strong constitution, and you have high energy levels, but nobody is a superhuman. So if you are starting to fear that you're going to burn out, don't let it go to that point. Tell your employer that if you burn out, then you won't be able to work at all. You'll be of no use to them, at least for the time being. And what good is that? It's better to, do a normal work day than to burn out and not do any work day. That would make, sense. Then I picked an additional card, and I got the Three of Pentacles. This is all about your future. This is about creating foundation for your life. And foundation, I think of Saturn in terms of planets. Guess where Saturn is, Aries? It's in your 10th house of career. So this is exactly what you're supposed to be doing. But you just have to make sure that you're not going overboard. Even if you're working overtime, not that you're not working overtime to a crazy extent. Okay, but it's a great card for money too, the Three of Pentacles. So very nice, and I hope that you enjoyed this. If you would like a personal reading, if you would like to look at 2020, some of the trends coming up for you, please check me out. My website is rainamoonastrology.com. The link is below, and have a great December. Take care. Bye.